What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video as they were doing What the Humans Became Saiyans episode 5. In the last episode, we covered the Buu saga with Goku and Tien having fused to defeat Majin Buu. We left off with Yamcha going missing despite his friends searching for him, as he deems himself a threat to society. We return to this timeline now. Over 4 years pass. Yamcha's not been seen by anyone during this time, secluding himself, avoiding any and every human. The only people to have seen him were Dende and Popo, who decided to remain impassive and not inform anyone, as Kami-sama is not meant to get involved with Earth's troubles, and, they might as well respect Yamcha's wishes. Remembering the meditation training Tien gave him, Yamcha would spend weeks at a time trying to control himself, which proves futile. He also decided to try a strategy Tien came up with to control his Ozaru, becoming his berserk form in desolate areas, trying to control it. Sadly, that is also ineffective. Whenever someone senses this, they would probably head out to go and get Yamcha, but he'd either be gone or too strong and be more of a threat to go than not. Puar would end up living at Kame House, depressed that his best friend essentially abandoned him after all they've been through. Roshi tries to console his friend, though the attempts never really work. Krillin, 18, and Marin would end up moving out of Kame House, so they go to their usual house. The three of them keep up their training as a family by going to wastelands to regularly spar. It's good bonding for the three, but nothing groundbreaking occurs to them, except just more gains. Tien would feel guilty for not helping Yamcha and begin to train even harder so he can find Yamcha and beat him down to keep him in check. He begins training his Golden Ozaru, which is a lot harder to control than his Ozaru was. After 4 straight years of training, it still hasn't done it. Clearly isn't doing the correct training for the form. Goku would become a farmer like normal, not much changing for the Son family. Nothing would change for Vegeta and his family either, since why would it? When Bulma's party arrives, everyone would attend, which includes Goku, since he can't go to King Kai's for 2 reasons. He doesn't have instant transmission, and he never got the Zenny from Mr. Satan. Seeing Krillin and Tien excites Goku as he rushes over to them, asking if they got any stronger, which both of them confirm. He wants to have a spar with them, which they agree to, and in unison, the trio all turn Super Saiyan, sending a big gust of wind that blows over a table of drinks. Bulma and Chi-Chi begin to shout at the Saiyans as they fly off into the air, beginning to fight. They all begin battling in a golden blur, to everyone's amazement. They'd be starting off slow before going into Super Saiyan 2, where they'd really go all out. Having sent some fighting, Vegeta would leave the training room and rush into battle with the other 3, where the 4 Saiyans all begin fighting quite intensely. While they fight, Whis and Beerus arrive on the planet, however it isn't at the party, but instead a desolate wasteland. They come face to face with Yamcha, who questions who they are, getting on guard. Beerus introduces himself and Whis, which Yamcha doesn't really care about. He doesn't want to stay away or else they might get hurt. Although Yamcha is being genuine, he doesn't want to hurt them. Beerus took this as a threat. Faster than Yamcha's eyes can keep up, Beerus appears centimeters away from him, telling him to try. Yamcha confesses that he has a power that he thinks could be the Super Saiyan God, however it's really dangerous and he can't control it, which interests Beerus even more. He knows it is the legendary Super Saiyan, however it is similar to a godlike state. Beerus might have got the name wrong, so he just sets up. Beerus raises up his hand, creating a destruction ball, telling Yamcha if he doesn't show his power, he'll just have to blow up the planet, which Yamcha can't allow, this is his home. He agrees as he begins powering up, his muscles becoming bigger, as his hair turns green and his pupils fade, leaving Yamcha screaming, as he becomes a feral beast, to Beerus' delight. Beerus and Yamcha begin to fight, with the cat god having fun, brawling the legendary warrior. Yamcha's power is rising more and more, which excited Beerus. Maybe if he waited long enough, Yamcha could actually be a worthy opponent for him. He begins to knock Yamcha around to make his power rise, with Yamcha rising to the occasion. Beerus fires a fireball at Yamcha, who fires an Omega Kamehameha that consumes Beerus' fireball, making it explode. As Yamcha's power rises, his sanity lowers as he begins to destroy the planet around him, just to defeat Beerus. Over at Bulma's party, every person who can sense Ki all feel Yamcha fighting, not knowing what's happening. They sense that he is fighting someone, even if they can only sense one person. After the 4 Saiyans get senzu beans, they prepare to leave with Piccolo and Gohan. Puar speaks up, asking to come along. Yamcha is his best friend, he will bring him back. Krillin tells Puar to get on his shoulders, they all fly off to the battlefield. They arrive to see Yamcha and Beerus fighting and immediately notice something wrong with Yamcha. His body's becoming unstable, his ki is overflowing. Without the brain capacity to control the overwhelming ki, his body will just explode. They shout for Yamcha to stop, but clearly, he can't hear them. With his big ears, however, Beerus heard about Yamcha near death, and knocks him out one hard hit to the back of the neck. He enjoyed his fight with Yamcha and will want to do it again in the future. Beerus states that the Oracle Fish must have been wrong since the Super Saiyan God didn't oppose him, which Vegeta would hear. He explains how he believes that Yamcha was actually a legendary Super Saiyan form, instead of this God form, which King Kai telepathically confirms to everyone. The cat god asks how to summon a Super Saiyan God, with Goku coming up with the idea of using Shenron. Before they leave, Piccolo gives Yamcha a senzu bean as he becomes conscious to see Puar crying above him. He tells everyone to get away, he's too dangerous, but they all tell him not to be dumb. Him isolating himself won't solve anything, but if they are together, maybe they can figure out a way to control it. Yamcha reluctantly agrees, as Puad gives him a big hug, and they all return back to Bulma's party. When returning, they'd immediately use Shenron, figuring out how to summon Super Saiyan God. With the abundance of Saiyans, Vidal's pregnancy is never revealed, which isn't really important. Goku would become a Super Saiyan God, and would begin fighting with Beerus like normal. While they fight, Whis approaches Yamcha, questioning him on his legendary power, with Yamcha explaining it to the best of his abilities. Remembering how Beerus got excited when fighting Yamcha, Whis gets the idea of training Yamcha so he can control the form. If he can control it, it may make Beerus less lazy to avoid getting surpassed, which Yamcha would agree to. Overhearing this offer, Vegeta asks to go along, as well as does Krillin, with Whis denying them. After they both give Whis delicious food, he would agree. Tien won't ask Whis, however. He has no interest in training with them. Besides, he has an interest to start up a dojo, and it'd be difficult to do that on a different planet. Also, he's not really trusting of these gods. It could all just be a ploy. Goku and Beerus return to their party with their fight done, where Goku learns about Vegeta and the other two going to train with Whis. Since Goku has God Key, he'd be a good training partner for them, and so Whis decides to allow him to come along, and the six all return to Beerus' planet. On Beerus' planet, the four Saiyans all begin training together to learn to enter legendary powers on their own. While Goku, Vegeta, and Krillin do the same training by rushing at Whis and doing all that good stuff, Yamcha would be given a special type of training. He'd be placed in a high-pressure room and be forced to transform to his berserk form, in there where his body is held in place. Since his body isn't acting on pure instinct, it allows Yamcha to try and take control of his body again. Even after a straight year of training, Yamcha is able to enter a pseudo berserk form like KO can in the anime, which, although weaker, makes it Yamcha stronger and safer. The other three would all manage to enter Super Saiyan Blue, with them all fighting against Whis. Due to Krillin being more martial arts based, he'd be more the way to entering Ultra Instinct than Goku and Vegeta are. Although Krillin is able to figure out the God to Blue strategy much quicker before Frieza even arrived. Meanwhile on Earth, Tien would end up starting his dojo a bit earlier and begin training people with Chaozu. In the night when his students are asleep, Tien flies off where he begins to learn to control the inner beast. Through looking deep within himself, he begins to calm his soul and refine his brain, allowing him to tame his inner beast, allowing him to become a Super Saiyan 4, although it won't be called that. We'll call it that though, since anything else that I could come up with would be dumb. Leave suggestions in the comments what you think Super Saiyan 4 will be called in this timeline. Android 18 would end up getting a job becoming a policewoman since she needs to provide for her daughter while Krillin is gone. Whenever she goes to work, she would send Marin to Capsule Corp, where she would end up playing with Goten and Trunks all the time, making them all much closer. As normal, Big Man Jocko rocks up to Earth, gives the warning of Frieza, and the Z-Fighters all go to the archipelago to stop him and his soldiers. The only difference is that Krillin isn't there for obvious reasons. Tien would have to go pick up Roshi instead. After all the soldiers are killed, the Z-Fighters all stare down Frieza, with him taking most interest in Tien, due to him being Saiyan. And not just any Saiyan. A Saiyan who manhandled Frieza back on Namek. Tien ends up powering to Super Saiyan 4, amazing everyone at his newfound power. Meanwhile, Frieza makes a remark of him being even more of a monkey. To buy time for Whis to bring the Force Saiyans to Earth since Goku doesn't have instant transmission, Tien decides to hold off Frieza for as long as possible. He attacks Frieza, who transforms into his final form, blocking Tien's attacks with his immense strength. Luckily for Tien, he has better martial arts prowess than Frieza, as well as numerous techniques to constantly keep Frieza on his toes. With his body beginning to fail from exhaustion, Tien decides to give it his all. He places his hands in a signature pose as he uses a Kiko Ho times 10, unleashing a red triangular blast that impacts Frieza, flinging him backwards, smoking a bit annoyed. Tien falls out of the sky, with Frieza trying to exploit this, firing a death beam at him. Before he can kill Tien, Piccolo rushes in a Kaioken times 50, grabbing Tien and moving him out of the way. He places Tien down and rushes at Frieza himself, where he gets absolutely dominated and left in the crater of his own blood and discarded arms. Before Frieza can kill anyone, Whis and the four Saiyans arrive, which pleases everyone else. As Yamcha tends to Piccolo and Tien, moving them out of the way of danger, Krillin steps to the fight Frieza, since Frieza holds a grudge for Krillin killing him. Frieza powers up to his golden form as Krillin turns God, and the duo rush each other, with Krillin easily dominating, because he's Krillin. He begins to wait for Frieza to lose stamina, which he does at a rapid rate. When Frieza falls into base, Krillin rushes at him, transforming into a Super Saiyan Blue, hitting Krillin hard towards Vegeta, who raised up his hand, blasting Frieza, disintegrating him. So obey is stunned as he begins to panic, not knowing what to do. Lord Frieza was just killed by these monkeys. How was he meant to get away? Vegeta gives him an answer by killing him off with a single blast. And just like that, Resurrection F not only got a better ending, but the day is saved. And that's something over here. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment below to grab in episode 6. Now Tien has his own form, as does Yamcha and Krillin. How do you think Krillin's going to evolve? Will he get his own unique form as well? And do you think Yamcha will ever tame his beast? Let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, bye!